Well, hey, I want to give you a quick second to read the board because I know some of you have complained that I get up there and I'm so wide, to put it nicely, that I block your view so you can't really see everything. But I want to explain a couple things here, kind of off to the side. The discussion topic here kind of goes into this whole thing about Facebook, but maybe a more accurate way to put this topic is legal issues with social media. I think maybe Facebook's a little more catchy. And as always, you have any questions, problems with the course, with this topic, anything at all, just quips or quotes, anything you want to share with me, robdawalt@me.com. So basically what we're talking about today is the advent of this social media phenomenon and how that affects our overall work lives. And I like to expand it a little bit and just say lives because it can affect you in a lot of ways. You have this concept called sexting, and maybe this doesn't really rise to the level of sexting, but you've got teens that are putting some provocative pictures of themselves up there in skimpy clothes, and that will haunt them for like the rest of their life. And as parents, you want to protect them from making a mistake like that could adversely affect them like forever. But you could see where something like that could have a really bad effect on someone's future, and employers, just might look at that. Well, what is the legal right to privacy, and does it extend to something like Facebook? And we're just still sorting this out to a certain extent, but it wouldn't probably qualify as invasion of privacy under the law, because if you put yourself out there on Facebook and somebody sees it, even employer or prospective employer, you want to go to work for a new company, better benefits, better this, better that, then you want to avoid any kind of bad press, let's say, in terms of this social media. So some perfect examples might be, while you're at a drunken party, you're even at a New Year's party, and here you are holding a beer in your hand and all that. Well, then you want to turn around and get a job somewhere that's got kind of a straight-laced conservative group of people involved. May not work because you've been out there, and shown that you like to have an alcoholic beverage once in a while. And so it kind of casts you in a bad light, in those kind of circumstances. Like I said too in one of my posts, it's harmless, it's no big deal, but you want to show off your new bikini or your Speedo at the pool with your family or whatever. But suddenly, somebody looks at that and they're like, oh my gosh, they're offended. They don't ever go out in the sun without a long sleeve shirt and long sleeve pants on, So, that could be bad. I mean, in terms of how that could affect you. And, I don't know if there's any way to really block it. Another thing that I think is an interesting issue on this is, what if somebody else puts up one of your old pictures? Like, let's say I've seen guys, even friends of mine, here they are smoking weed in Vietnam, when they're in the Army, Well, that seems to say that, oh my gosh, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you were smoking weed. Oh, you're a drug addict, So people can get the wrong idea. And if one of your buddies may think, oh, that's really funny, I'm going to put that up there, but that could cause you to lose your job, So, I mean, how does that work? And I think that Facebook and some of these others have started to try to give you the opportunity to edit things about you and take stuff down that, may not be cast you in the best light. So probably in your best interest to kind of police that because your friends may think that they're being funny, but they could be hurting you by something they put on Facebook, Twitter, or some other social networking site. Now me, myself, I use Facebook, but I've gone through a learning curve with it. Real political and religious in the beginning as far as arguing with people. Well, I was arguing more of a tolerance of other religions like the Muslim religion and some things like that, Buddhism and things, just from the standpoint of the foundations of this country from a more constitutional perspective. But I mean, I was also pretty fierce about the political situation and very critical of other people and some of their views on that, and I've just completely walked away from that. All I do now is just talk about my son, how he's doing. He's a grown-up boy, so I can feel like he's pretty able to take care of himself. So I'll put some pictures of them up there once in a while, what he's doing in the Coast Guard, stuff like that. Less so about my daughter, because here again I'm kind of protective based upon the stalking cases that I've seen over the years. I just think young girls and women, you've got to be very careful about that type thing and not share too much on Facebook because you could get some unwanted fans, if you know what I'm saying, that could be harmful, even deadly, if you're not careful. And it's rare, it doesn't happen that much. I don't want you to get like, oh my gosh, my professor said, actually numbers wise it's down in a few hundreds or maybe 1,000 cases a year of what we call stranger danger, whereas with the big push is when we're looking at statistics, most of the time girls are harmed by an acquaintance, boyfriend, father, grandfather, step-parent, wife's boyfriend, or mother's boyfriend, something like that. So a lot of times it's not some stranger walks up on you, but it does happen, so you want to be very careful about that. So Facebook, I think it's a fascinating topic. It's a fascinating development in our lives. There are legal issues. I mentioned somewhere, I'm involved in this LinkedIn, and I think LinkedIn is good where you just keep it to work, different things you're interested in work, and just talk about work, your work, education, homeland security, things I'm interested in, criminal justice and that, and avoid getting too much involved in my work in Facebook, and don't get too chatty and everything in LinkedIn. So try to keep these things separate. I think LinkedIn is really a good work site. I think it can be good. I know in some places they're actually using LinkedIn as a form of a resume so that they can, if you've got a LinkedIn identity already up there, they can just go up there and look at your edited comments about yourself, about your education, experience, different things, and look at what some other people are saying about you too, good teacher, things like that, and that can be very helpful in getting you jobs in the future. I really believe that. So I can really see a strong use for social networking in the right way, but here again, like anything else, you want to be careful and don't overdo it. Same old story with alcohol or anything else, food, alcohol, anything like that. Don't overdo it. It's just a good rule of thumb on everything. So Facebook, don't overdo it. Okay? Well, that's it basically for today. I'm going to do a little more legal research on this about the invasion of privacy thing and some of this litigation that's out there in terms of use of Facebook and different social media. And then I'll share that with you in the discussion this week. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying these. Remember, always feel free to contact me, Rob Dawalt at me.com. Thanks.